A friend of mine recently told me he thinks he has a focus problem. He said he's struggling to get back on track after a trip. But what he explained, what's been going on, when he explained it became really obvious. He does not have a focus problem, he has a consumption problem. No one has a focus problem, not even people with ADHD, because there's things that you are consuming that is causing the ADHD. Not medical advice, just my opinion. And once you see the distinction, it completely changes how you think about discipline, productivity, and focus, right? So he just got back from a trip from Vegas. He told me that the trip basically destroyed his habits, right? No gym, eating out every day, drinking daily, scrolling social media constantly. And now he's saying it's been really hard to focus and get his life back together. But when you actually look at that situation, something becomes very clear. That's not a focus problem at all. That's a consumption environment problem, right? Ask yourself a very simple question. Name one person on planet Earth right now who eats out every single day, who drinks every single day, who uses social media consistently and constantly, and still has elite level focus. Someone who's operating at the level you actually want to reach. No one will be able to name anyone because those behaviors destroy the conditions that focus requires. This is where most people misunderstand focus. They think focus is something you need to build, like it's an effort based uh, thing, like an attribute, right? Like it's some mental muscle you have to strengthen and you have to apply effort to, like it's a push up. But in many cases, focus is not something you gain, it's something you reveal. Focus is what naturally appears when you remove the things that constantly fragment your attention. When you stop flooding your brain with stimulation, when you stop constantly switching contexts, when you stop consuming things that hijack your attention, focus starts to show up on its own, right? Everything you consume shapes how your brain operates. Food affects your energy, alcohol affects your clarity, social media affects your attention span. If your entire environment is built around constant stimulation, quick dopamine hits, and distractions, your brain adapts to that environment. And when it adapts, deep focus becomes extremely difficult. Not because you're incapable, but because the environment is training your brain to do the opposite. Which is funny because he even goes to add that, now he's responding to this idea of this lack of focus that he's having and then judging himself on that. And then that's a whole nother problem, right? So, but if someone thinks they have a focus problem, the first question shouldn't be, how do I focus harder? The better question is, what am I consuming that's destroying my ability to focus? Because once you start removing those things, something interesting happens. Your mind starts settling down, your attention stabilizes, and elite level focus begins to return. And most people are trying to add more productivity, routines and techniques to their life, more systems, more strategies, more hacks, right? The real solution is much fucking simpler. You don't need to add anything. You just need to stop consuming the things that are breaking your focus in the first place. Because focus is not something you force, it's something that appears when the noise disappears.